Shabbat Shalom and welcome to our very special and growing Facebook and YouTube community dedicated to the study of the weekly Torah portion, a conversation with that Torah portion. Today, by the way, is May 6th. Some of you asked for the exact date. It feels great to be back together with you again. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Permit me to begin with a very special shout out to my cousin Dror Dudai, who has been hospitalized in Panama City while on a typical Israeli post-army hiking tour, and who watches these postings every week now from his hospital bed in Panama City. Dror, hachlama shlema, a speedy and complete recovery. Well, Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut are behind us. Lag BaOmer and Shavuot still await us. And the daily counting of the Omer keeps us very much on track with the passing days. Last week's Torah readings were very challenging, problematic to many of us because of their content. So challenging that in fact some of us had a great deal of trouble even thinking about them. Well, welcome now to the incredible world of two other portions, Acharemot and Kedoshim, beginning Leviticus 16:1 to 20:27. Here we have, no exaggeration, one of the most potent, rich, and rewarding sections of the entire Torah. Quite a balance to last week, but also with some troubling, problematic passages. We even have an awesome Haftarah selection that in many ways sets in place one of the clearest declarations of the universalist strains within Jewish faith, culture, and tradition. The prophet Amos declares, Halo chivnei kushiyim atem li b'nei Yisrael. Are you, O children of Israel, not exactly the equivalent, exactly, to the children of the Ethiopians, no better, no worse. But we're not allowed to study the Haftarah today. We're studying the Torah portion. We have to go back to our text. The very name of the third book of the Torah tells us what it's mainly about, Leviticus. The laws, practices, procedures surrounding the sacrificial work and world of the Levites. Though this world is long gone, many of its emphases remain enshrined in the very structure of our standard worship services today. But now, suddenly, here, with our weekly portions, in the midst of all that detail about ritual, we have these two selections filled with high moral demands. Kedoshim tihiyu, be holy, because I, the eternal, your God, am holy. Be like me, God says. Me, capital M, be like me. Do as you believe I do. Care for the poor as I care for the poor. Care for the hungry as I care for the hungry. Care for the widow and the orphan as I care for the widow and the orphan. Of course, intermingled with this, two other really important statements. One, totally love. You shall rise up before the aged and show deference to the Lord. That's Torah. And there's another really great one. You are forbidden to insult the deaf or place a stumbling block before the blind. I love it. But all is not at such a lofty level. In Leviticus 18, we have a brief, brutally clear condemnation of homosexuality. It is an abomination in the eyes of the authors of the Torah. Despite some half-hearted efforts to mitigate this condemnation, it says what it says. And humankind has been responsible for incredible, horrible cruelty, while too often pointing to this verse for justification. I personally feel no need to twist and turn to engage in pilpolistic gymnastics to make this verse not say what it actually is saying. For me, it's in the Torah, and it's morally offensive. It's in the Torah, and it's wrong. I read it, I study it, I explore its context, and I reject any hold that it might claim to have over me. I read the Torah. I embrace the Torah as a truly inspired and inspirational text. But it is a human document. And by very definition, as a human document, it is imperfect and sometimes tragically wrong. Yes, I'm comfortable saying that I hold that my moral vision regarding this text is superior to that which was held by its original authors. And I commit myself to supporting all of those who seek full equality, full respect, full human status, full legal protections, full holiness for gays, for lesbians, for queers and trans. And obviously, I hope that you commit yourselves to all of this as well. Let's look at just one more verse together. Va'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Wow. Again, this is Torah. The Gospel of Mark, foundational of Christian faith, states that right after Shema Yisrael and Va'ahavta, our verse is the most important verse in the Torah. He just may be correct. Rabbi Akiva said, Ze klal gadol b'Torah. This is a great principle found in the Torah, and it surely is. But that doesn't mean that it's exempt from its own twists and turns. Look at the three Hebrew words. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Simple, but not simple. For example, where does that love for your neighbor actually begin? Love your neighbor kamocha, as yourself. My love for you must begin with my love for myself. I cannot really respect you if I have no respect for myself. I cannot embrace you if I reject the person that I am. I cannot know you if I do not know myself. My friends, this is a breathtaking, transformative understanding. If we think little of ourselves, then we will never think much of others. If we fail to discern that when another verse in this week's reading says that you shall be holy, for I, the eternal your God, am holy, it actually applies to each of us. If we can't believe that, then the entire Jewish system of ethics will not work for us. We have to be able not just to say, but to feel, to mean that we are, each of us, worthy of love. You are worthy of love. I'm worthy of love, of God's love, of our own love. All this before we can ever come to love others. There's so much more. Love your neighbor. So who's your neighbor? Are we supposed to love those who live in our cul-de-sac, our school district, or maybe our suburb? Or is that neighbor our in-group? Is the command here for us to love Jews, but not necessarily everyone else? Are we commanded just to love white people or Republicans or Americans to the exclusion of other categories? Do we restrict our love for those who look like us, who think like us, who have our level of education or economic success? Who is our neighbor? What a great question. Buber had an answer. Levinas had an answer. But we have to come to our own answers. If you don't have much else to do this week, think about our questions. And maybe if you really do have a very busy calendar, think about our questions. Who is that neighbor whom we are supposed to love? And how do we come to love ourselves? Our text says that kedusha, holiness, sanctity, will be found in our answers. Have a wonderful Shabbat. Have a great week. Please share, hit the share button, our study with others. And please continue to send me your comments and suggestions, because that's the only way that we can make our study truly into a conversation. Have a great week. Shabbat Shalom.